Shalom, shalom. Give all praise and glory to the Most High God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel. We are the Battle Axes coming to you with another first day breakdown. Get your week started right. Today we're going to be going over, the name of the class is Graven Images and Idolatry. We're going to be covering graven images and idolatry. And we know throughout our nation, from the Blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans, that we have had a lot of idolatry in our nation, man. And that's one thing that the Most High God hates. So let's get started with the book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 4. Psalms chapter 96 and verse 4.
The book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 4. For the Lord is great.
What is the Lord?
For the Lord is great.
The Lord Yahweh, the Lord of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, is great, man. Read on.
And greatly to be praised.
And greatly to be praised. Look at everything around us. He created everything around us. There's only one creator, one God, and that's our God, the God of Israel, man. Greatly to be praised. Read on.
He is to be feared above all gods.
Let's say he is to be feared above all gods with a lowercase d, because all these other gods that people, man, worship is nothing, man. They ain't nothing but idols and graven images. We're going to go into that. It's proven that those things that our people worship, that white Jesus picture, the cross, the rosary beads, those statues in the Catholic Church, all this stuff is idolatry and graven images. People bow down at the feet of these things, man. But our God, he's greatly to be praised and to be feared by all, because he will destroy this place, man, like he's done before. At the drop of a dime. Read on, man.
Verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
What are all the gods of the nations?
For all the gods of the nations are idols.
Read on.
But the Lord made the heavens.
But he made what?
But the Lord made the heavens.
It's no proof that these people can say that Buddha created anything, that Krishna created anything, that white Jesus created anything. These gods are nothing, man. They ain't nothing but idols. Hold that what you got. I'm going to get the definition of an idol, because idol used two different ways. Idol as in the graven image, and idol as in a state of being. First, we're going to start with IDOL. It says an image or representation of a god used as an object of worship. Something used, the cobblestone is an idol. It's used as an object of worship. Our God doesn't require us to have an object of worship to him. He's omnipresent. He's everything. He's everywhere. How can you make something to worship our God with when he created everything? That's why he says it's vain. And it say, let's get the IDLE. IDLE. It is without purpose or effect. Pointless. When you idle, you without effect. You're pointless. When you got a statue, that cobblestone can't move. It's idle. Not only is it an idol, it's idle, which means it cannot move at all. So it's pointless. What is it doing for those people? It's not doing anything for those people. It's a without purpose or effect. Outside of the people that's putting it in their head that the cobblestone is doing something, it's doing nothing. It's just sitting there. So let's go back to Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 5. Read that again.
The book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
All those gods, Buddha, Krishna, the cobblestone, white Jesus statues, St. Peter statues, Mary statues, all of those are idols, and they are idle. They cannot move. The Most High's footstool is the earth. How can you make anything to worship him with when he's over everything? We can't take no piece of wood or no stone and say, oh, we worshiping the Most High God with. That's garbage to him. That's vanity to him. But that's what these people are doing. They fashion a piece of wood or they chisel out a piece of stone and they go down and bow down to the feet of those things. take a picture, bow down to the feet of those things. That's vanity. The Most High said that's vanity. Read on now.
But the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary.
The Lord made the heavens, man. We got the true creator who created the heavens. And we're going to bow down to a picture, a piece of wood, or a piece of stone? No, man. That's garbage. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 19. Hold on.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 19. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
The Most High God divided the sun, the moon, the stars, and all these things for the other nations to worship, man. And he told us we should see him, we should not worship those. That's why you see in Arabic, they always got the crescent moon and the star. They worshiping those things, man. The Catholic Church is worshiping the sun. That's why they day is Sunday. They worship the sun god. The Egyptians worship the sun god. Our people worship the sun god. You know what I'm saying? So he told us not to do that. And when you see how come it ain't been slavery for the other nations that worship the sun, but for the northern kingdoms, the Mayans and the Aztecs that worship the sun, they went into captivity. Because they weren't supposed to do that. But the white man over here worshiping the sun is all right. Because the Lord said he gave that up to them to worship. The Muslims worshiping the moon, it's all right because the Lord gave that up to them to do that. But for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're not to do that. That's why the Native Americans worship nature. They worship nature. They totem poles and all this different stuff. That was against our God. What happened to them? Went into slavery, went into captivity, got their homeland took. Same thing will happen up. That shows you right there who the curse is fit for doing what. All you got to do is see who's still doing what they've been doing. And no punishment came upon them, and then see the one that was doing the same thing and what happened to them. And it's going to be the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now, read on that.
But the Lord had taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day.
So the people that got taken out of Egypt, out of the iron furnace, was the Israelites. So us Israelites, we can't be doing these things. And yet our people still worship these things. Let's go to John 4 and 22.
The book of John, chapter 4, and verse 22. Ye worship ye, know not what.
The people, our people of our nation is worshiping. And they don't know what they worship. But they show holding them rosaries and them crosses. They show got their white Jesus picture up in their house. And they don't know what they worship. But what, huh?
We know what we worship.
But the difference is we know what we worshiping at this point. We know as Israelites, we know what we worshiping because we're going into our scriptures. And we understanding about our God. Read on.
For salvation is of the Jews.
So we have an understanding that salvation is of the Jews. Who needs saving? Not those fake Jews. Those fake Jews don't need no saving. They run the world. That's how they're able to come down on Nick Cannon the way they do for him telling the truth. Because they want to try to shame him. What they call it the Anti-Defamation League. That's who they sick on you when they go mess with your money. And you see he gave in. But we ain't got to give in because we know salvation is of the Jews and we ain't backing down from that thing, man, because we know who our God is. If they really was worshiping the God of this Bible, they wouldn't be doing none of the stuff that they do. Like we went over in Sabbath class, how they putting their mouth on baby genitals and they sleep with their daughters and all this different abominations. They got Tel Aviv is the gay capital of the world, and they got kosher pork and kosher cigarettes. If they really was the people of the Bible, they would not be doing that. If they really was the people in the Bible, they wouldn't even be in that land right now. If they really, I really want to talk to some of these fake Jews, and I really need them to explain to me When did y'all go into slavery by way of slave ships? Because y'all trying to act like Nick Cannon lying. Well, prove your point. But they ain't gonna never do that. They just gonna try to censor you and shut you down. They just try to shut your channel down. They just try to shut your show down. People of influence, because Nick Cannon could have affected the whole. He did already affect a whole lot of people. That's why they had to stop right there. If he was lying, they wouldn't have to stop because it just would have been lies. But when you get to pulling back the layers on this thing and proving that these people never went through the curses that the Bible said that the Israelites are going to go through. So how he lied? And who are we? Ain't nobody finna tell me who I am when I'm reading the Bible. All of us got the same Bible in our house. And when we go through this thing, it only fitting one set of people. The ones that they try to separate from each other and call the blacks, the Hispanics, and the Native Americans. So they can miss us with all that garbage, man, because we know salvation is of the Jews. They don't need no saving. Who do the Rothschilds need saving from? Not that cool. We don't talk about that. Read on out. Because this is the thing right here.
But the hour cometh, and now is.
The hour cometh, and now is, read on.
When the true worshipers.
When the what?
When the true worshipers.
Not the people that just saying they Jews and Jewish. The true worshipers of the Most High God, not worshipers of idolatry, not worshipers of blaspheming the Holy Ghost, of blaspheming Christ. They don't believe in no Christ. They don't believe in Christ. They don't even believe in the Most High God, Yahweh, man. Read on.
Shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth.
How we gonna worship them?
In spirit and in truth.
They have no spirit and they have no truth. So how you worshiping the Father, man? Let's get spirit. Give me Romans 7:14. Let's get the spirit first. How you work? The true worshipers is gonna worship him like the Most High told us to, in spirit and in truth. So let's understand the spirit. Read that out.
The Romans chapter 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
The what?
The law is spiritual.
The law is spiritual. So we have to be doing the law to be spiritual, to worship the Most High God in spirit. That means being obedient to him. Read on.
But I am carnal, sold under sin.
A lot of people can't understand that because they carnal and already been sold under sin, but we've been bought with a ransom when we come back to doing what the Most High told us to do. Give me Psalms 119 and 142. So we got to worship him in spirit. So we know that the law is spiritual. So let's see what the truth is. And see if they walk hand in hand. Read that when you got it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness.
So we know that the Most High God's righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. What he says is right don't never end. So whatever he say in his Bible for us to do that's right, it is what it is. It's the truth. Read on out.
And thy law is the truth.
And what?
And thy law is the truth.
So you mean to tell me his law is the truth and his law is spiritual? So we got to worship the Most High God through his law? If you're not keeping these laws, man, you're not worshiping the Father.
That's right.
That's precept upon precept. So we call out, if we don't worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God that is the one true creator, we have to worship him through his laws, which is doing his laws is being obedient to him. Keeping his laws is showing them that we love him. So they go to blueprint right there to worship him, the one true creator, through spirit and in truth. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1.
Let's see. Go ahead.
And God spoke all these words, saying,
Who spoke all these words?
And Yahweh spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
I really need these people to explain to me when was they in slavery in Egypt? When was they in the house of bondage, man? It's hard to be in slavery in Egypt when you over there in the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. When you over there in Europe, in Poland. Because they cannot deny that they don't come out the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia, Why Hitler went to Poland to go kill a lot of them up. He attacked Russia because a lot of it up in there. They was in Germany. That's where he started at first. You know what I'm saying? That's the epicenter of them, the Ukraine. Come on, man. But they acting like they don't come from that region. They acting like they come from Israel. Man, I don't know who they think they're playing with at this point. It's really a joke that they think they fooling somebody. And they got the nerve to get upset because somebody telling the truth about this, right? Oh, the gig's up. Why? Because the Most High said so. We're going to worship him in spirit and the truth. And he said, with the truth shall set us free. So you can't pull the wood over our eyes no more with the scars that they've been selling us about the Holocaust. Hitler should have put them to death like they deserve, man. He should have put them to death. He said he was right about it. He knew he a Jew. He knew they wasn't nothing but some money-grubbing devils, man. He said it. I watched Hitler talk about these people, man. I couldn't do nothing but agree. That's why they try to vilify him so much. Because anything that go against them or this country, they're going to vilify. So, because Germany, even though America right now is worse than Germany was back in before World War II, no matter what they say, they ain't nothing but the new Germany. That's the funny part about it. Read on that.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other God before me.
What did the Most High God say?
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
That goes for our Christian counterparts who want to put Christ before the Most High. You can't put no gods before the Most High God. You can't be saying, Jesus is God. No, he's not. He even told you that. These people, they got it twisted on that side too. He's straight up about what he's saying, man. You got people disrespecting the Most High God and on both sides of the aisle. Oh, Jesus is God. Oh, I don't believe in God. From both ends of the spectrum. But the Most High God said, I don't put no other gods before me. Read on, huh?
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath.
This is instructions for us Israelites. He is literally telling us, you don't need no cobblestone. You don't need no cross. You don't need no rosary beads. You don't need no Jesus picture hanging up in your house. You don't need no little statue of Mary sitting outside your yard as an idol. You don't need none of this stuff that these people think that they really need. It ain't nothing but superstition. That's all it is, a bunch of super pagan superstition. That stuff ain't gonna do nothing for these people. That they, I'm gonna burn a money candle. What in the heck is a money candle gonna do for you? That's superstition, man. You might well believe on a 4-leaf clover and a little leprechaun. If you're gonna believe on Mary, Saint Mary is a white woman in the first place, and Jesus white. If you finna believe all that, you might want to go search for the little leprechaun. Read on up.
Or that is in the water under the earth. Verse 5.
So don't try to make no angels. That's in the heavens above. Don't worship no whales. Don't worry, they damn Asians worship everything. They worship kissing koi fish and make you rich. I'll eat a shark fin, you'll live forever. They in all types of crazy stuff, man. No, the Lord said don't do none of that. Read on.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Well, what is the people in the Catholic Church doing? What is the people in the Christian church doing? Is they not serving Cedar Borgia, white Jesus? They are served, boy. Anytime you say, I love everybody, you serving Cedar Borgia. Anytime you say, I don't judge the gays, God love everybody, that you with Cedar Borgia. This is Christianity, Cedar Borgia, homosexual doctrine. We got to go, thus saith the Lord. Whatever the Lord believe in, that's what I believe in. Point blank period. Read on.
I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
He's a what?
Jealous God.
We can prove that. Every time we going around with how many people say they Christians, how many of their sons get murdered? How many sisters say they Christians? How many of them end up single mothers? How many Brothers say they Christians and end up in a penitentiary. So if Christianity was the way, you would think we'd be turning out better citizens. No, how many brothers or sisters have scrolled through social media and seen one of our sisters that's dressed like a whore and got a cross around her neck? Or a brother with pistols, like he a rapper, with a cross around his neck. I used to get upset before I truly understood that the cross ain't nothing but the devil's cross anyway. They should be wearing. You mark yourself. It has nothing to do with us over here. It took a while, we was Christians, the cross. I used to get offended. No, I don't have no use for that. Devil should wear the cross. So then it make you understand that in the movie Exodus, how could those priests who would say nothing but a bunch of pedophiles come with crosses and fake holy water to put a demon out of somebody when they demons themselves? It just totally destroyed the whole movie. Because I know the Catholic Church ain't nothing but devil worshippers. So straight up pray to Lucifer. How is Satan gonna cast? How the devil gonna cast out Satan? See how they work? They're gonna send the devil to cast out Satan. They don't know. No. What did Christ say? Those kind of demons only come out with fasting and prayer. So you think them people fasting and prayer, they kicking? Now these people is, boy, the truth says set you free. Once we know this truth, man, you can see right through their crowd. That's how we know what they did to Nick Cannon and the way Nick Cannon folded. It's just part of crafty counsel. Read on now.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children of the Salakia. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children until the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
That do what?
That hate me.
That do what?
That hate me.
Because if you serving another God and you're an Israelite, you hate the Most High. Because the only way we can love him if we keep his commandments.
That's right.
So if you're not loving them, the opposite of love is hate. And you turning your back on the Most High God and you go and serve and says report. These people think they love God. This is how crazy it is. This whole thing, when he says the spirit, translate that into psychological. This is psychological warfare because you got people in their minds that actually think that they love the Creator and everything that they do is going against the Creator. But in their mind, they think that you got pastors out here swearing they doing the Lord's work. But if you're not doing it according to how the Most High God told us to do, then you're not doing it. Right. Give me 1 John 2 and 3 to prove the point. He said he is a jealous God, but yet we got shepherds leading the sheep to the slaughter. And they got the Bible sitting right here. And it's telling you God is a jealous God. Read that out.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we know that we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
If we do what?
If we keep his commandments.
Read on.
He that said, I know him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar.
Is a what?
Is a liar.
Is a what?
Is a liar.
Read on.
And the truth is not in him.
And the law is not in him. It's not a true statement, man. So when people get mad, we say 99% of you pastors ain't doing it right. Not my pastor. Let's go to the Bible then. Is your pastor doing this? Because the Bible says your pastor is a liar and the truth ain't in them. And they stay there long enough for us to give them the truth. We can give them some understanding on why the truth not in them. It ain't that he ain't meaning to tell the truth. It's meaning he's teaching the truth according to how his oppressors taught him the truth and not according to the Most High God's righteousness. We have to do it how the Most High God told us to do. Let's go back to, let's go to 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 37. We have to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. I wish we would, for the ones that know the law, we can just say be obedient. For the ones like Paul said, to the one, I'm speaking to the ones that know the law. Be obedient to the Father. 17:32. Yes, sir.
Book of 2 Kings, chapter 17 And verse 37, and the statutes, and the ordinances, and the law, and the commandments, which he wrote for you, ye shall observe to do forevermore.
How long should we do the commandments?
You shall observe to do forevermore.
How long should we do the law?
Ye shall observe to do forevermore.
Forevermore. Read on.
And ye shall not fear other gods.
We shouldn't do what?
Fear other
You
gods.
shouldn't fear Capt. You shouldn't fear Buddha. You shouldn't fear white Jesus. White Jesus never threatened to do anything to anybody. You shouldn't fear the Father, though. You should fear Christ for being disobedient and disrespectful children. That's who you should fear. You shouldn't fear these other gods out here. Don't fear the white man. Don't fear the one that can kill the body, not the soul. Read on.
And the covenant that I have made with you, ye shall not forget, neither shall ye fear other gods.
He repeated it again. Read on.
But the Lord your God ye shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hand of all your enemies.
This part a lot of people ain't understanding if they ain't got faith. If we fear the Most High in the way that we're going against our Father, if we obey him, he will deliver us from all our enemies, man. But as long as you want to circumvent around the Most High and try to do it yourself, try to go with the white folks to do it, try to do it, lead to the oppressor, it's never going to happen, man. It's never going to happen. We have to do it the way the Most High told us to. And it's not hard for all the ones that's on this side of the track. Actually, it's really easy because it takes a lot of stress off of you. I just got to serve the Lord.
It's amazing too, because in everything that we do, for instance, when people go on their jobs, however your job tell you got to function on their job, that's what you're gonna do. When you rent an apartment or a house, the rules that the landlord that they put out there for you, you're gonna comply with everything they ask you to do. When you're in school, you're gonna do whatever the teachers or the authorities tell you to do. The police, the laws that they have out here, we're gonna follow it. We're gonna do everything to a T, to the point where they tell us to put on masks, we're gonna put the mask on and we ain't going in that store. But the Most High God, who you say you love, you don't want to do nothing that he's asking you to do, and you say you love him. I cannot understand it, but it goes to show you how effective the crafty counsel is that they put on us. Man, this brainwashing run deep.
Most High told us we got to do these things forevermore. So the moment that you wake up, don't have buddy. Don't play around with this, right? You got to make haste and get up on it, man, because our people don't understand how serious this thing is till you get touched. I don't think you want to do that. Go to Deuteronomy 28 and 15, because he told us to keep the laws, the statutes, the commandments, the ordinances forevermore, and not the fear of the gods. But let's see what he said if we did not do that, man. Matter of fact, give me 28 and 1 first. I always like to get a good news first.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
He said it will happen if we will hearken diligently, if we will listen diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, which is the word. Read on.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Read on.
And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So he told us if we would listen, to observe, and to do what he told us to do, that we'll be set on high above all nations. And all these blessings would overtake us. And we had that at one time. That's the blessing. And we got people that's getting overtaken with blessings right now for being obedient to the Most High God. But he was talking about as a nation, we will be on high. So let's see if we did not do what he told us to do. Let's go to 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So he said if we did not listen, that these curses was going to overtake us. Now, at the time, we had free will to choose to do or not to do. What he tells us, Deuteronomy 30 and 15, he said before you, life, good and life, and death and evil. That's what the choice that we had. So, because we did not listen, the curses came upon us. And now at this point, and this to give understanding to our people in here, and our Israelites says, no. Let's see, because of these curses, a lot of our people is worshiping these other gods because of these curses. Let's go to verse 63.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Did that happen to us?
It did.
We got plucked off the land where we go to possess it. That's why we're in a whole nother land. Northern Kingdom got plucked off the land. They don't own this land no more. As far as it say it is when it go to control, because we went against the Most High God. Read on, not. And matter of fact, the Lord said the same way He rejoiced over us to make us good and multiply. When we pissed Him off, He rejoiced over us to destroy us and bring us to naught. Read on, not.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
He should do what?
Shall scatter thee among all people.
This is why we got people in the four corners of the earth. This is part of the curses. Read on.
From the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
And what?
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Let's prove that point. Islam didn't even exist to 600 AD. This was prophesied during the time of Moses. And he noticed how he show you how real this Bible is. It said, and you should be scattered among all people. Check, that happened. From one end of the earth even to the other. Check, that's why you can find us in every country on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And there, thou shalt serve other gods.
Check.
Check. Got people in Islam, right? Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Check.
Our fathers did not know Islam when this was written. But it was prophesied that we would be even wood and stone. We got brothers saying they Muslims, but the Muslim worship the Kaaba stone, wood, houses, Christianity. Christianity didn't exist at the time that Moses wrote this. We got brothers saying they Moors. The Moors was Israelites who was Muslims. Come on, man. This Bible is real. This stuff did not exist at the time that Moses prophesied this to us. About being scattered. What other people have been scattered in the four corners of the earth? Worshiping religions that neither our fathers have known. These people have been worshiping the same stuff for thousands of years. The Chinese been worshiping Buddha for thousands of years. The white man been pagans for thousands of years. The Hindus have been Hindus for thousands of years. The Africans been worshiping their gods for thousands of years. But us, that's how you'll have a brother be a Christian, then he'll be a Muslim, then he'll be a 5%er, then he'll be an atheist, then he'll be a Christian again, then he'll be an Israelite. Because we try to figure out who we are. Oh, I forgot Kemet. You got to touch a little Kemet in your life, a little Pan-Africanism, because we trying to discover who we are. Why? Because we have been scattered among all nations, and we don't know who we are. This is prophecy being fulfilled, man. It's not a coincidence that our people is like this. It's not a coincidence that the Northern Kingdom is Catholics. Die-hard Catholics. Die-hard Catholics. Well, even though I'm gonna do a 1492 class. Going to the Spanish Inquisition and Christopher Columbus. Because I can't understand for the life of me why a Hispanic will be doing Catholicism. And not only that, they take it overboard. They want to be worshiping death and all types of stuff. But they come along with that. That's what the Catholics worship death too. That's where they got it from. What's the name of one of them?
What's that?
One of them, the one that looked like the Grim Reaper.
Oh, the Muerte,
Yeah,
the statue of death,
yeah.
you know, and well, the Virgin Mary, but they have her with the skeleton face.
Mm-hmm. Look at that crazy stuff, man. They crazy, man. The Day of the Dead.
Yeah, that's what I would have been
stuff.
say that too. The Dia de los Muertos. you
Yeah,
know.
what is we doing with the dead? They dead. They gone.
And then everybody paints their face in skeleton form and all that.
And then wonder why there's so much death among our people. You welcoming it in there. New Orleans with the voodoo stuff. Just even if you don't do voodoo, you just in that atmosphere of, so you saying it's all right. The witch doctor and all this different stuff. It's not all right. This stuff is real that these people do. Go down to Haiti. Go to the Dominican Republic. Go to Cuba. Go to any one of these countries. They doing it in all of them. Well, they sit up here. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's okay to let witches in. I thought we was killing witches. King James killing witches. They was killing witches over here. Now witches can just flabber around with their little witch stuff. They can be in the military. This stuff is crazy, man, where this country became to. They used to kill witches in Salem. But now witches can be open witches in the military. This is the good witch. Sabrina the good witch.
But that's big though, and that's real big.
Yeah.
In that culture.
Yeah. This stuff crazy, man. Where am I? Mm-hmm.
To the point he was making a while ago about all these things we were trying to find our way, I can actually contest to that. And when I was doing it, I didn't even realize that I was doing what you just said I was doing. I was literally a Christian, and I messed around and I read the autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley, and you couldn't tell me I wasn't a Muslim. I was, how do you say it? Assalamu alaikum every time I see somebody. Yeah. And I was on it, you know what I mean? I was trying to, I had subscribed to the little Muhammad Speaks little newspaper, and you know, it lasted a couple of months, and I lost interest because that wasn't what I had ordained for me anyway. And then finally, I'm here as an Israelite, my natural place, and I know this is the truth right here, because one common denominator that we all have is the Bible. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says we are the Israelites. So all praise to the Most High. I find my way.
Yeah, Isaiah 1 and 3. Isaiah 1 and 3. Verses, man, it's strong to the point where that's why we don't know who we are. We got our heritage stripped from us being disobedient. We got to do that searching to try to find out. Read that out.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doeth not know. My people doeth not consider.
A lot of our people don't even consider. It's a lot of our people that go searching, and they just stop at one thing. Oh, I'm paying out. Oh, I'm killing. All this different stuff. They don't consider that they. And then you can hear a lot of them say, "Yeah, I'm God's child." You a badass God's child, then, because you sure ain't trying to do what He told you to do. That's the one thing they don't. They say they a child of God, but they don't want to be obedient.
I know I'm a child of God.
Yeah, but read what the Lord said about these children of God.
The ox knoweth his owner.
Right before.
Verse 4. Sinful nation.
What did the Lord call us?
Sinful nation.
Uh-huh.
A people laden with iniquity.
Laden with iniquity.
a seed of evil
The Lord
doers,
called us a seed of evil, man. Read on.
children that are corrupters.
Children that are corrupters, man. Read on.
They have forsaken the Lord.
What did our people do?
They have forsaken the Lord.
No, we ain't gotta keep the commandments.
They have forsaken the Lord.
Jesus died, so the law is done away with.
They have forsaken the Lord.
I love the Lord. I love the Lord.
They have forsaken the Lord.
Read on.
They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward.
Man, I ain't the Most High, but I can understand how you feel, because our people are going away backwards, man. We try to tell them that they got to be obedient to God, and this back talk that they give, this attitude, and this pride on our people, man. These curses sitting up here right in our face, and it don't matter if they got money or not. You still see the curses on them. Did we not just see the curse get poured out on Nick Cannon? He got money. What'd he do? He said, you can't fire a boss. Well, he sure went into the white man apologizing. There's some curses on him too, man. Because we have seen the evildoers, a nation laden with a nickel. If you ain't finna be down, Nick Cannon, then you might well don't even say nothing.
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson too. And Charles Barkley just needs to shut the hell up, man. This is a top-notch coon, man. Just shut up. You ain't even part of this nation no more. If you married to a white woman, you is not part of this nation.
That's
No,
right.
because this nation right here is a nation of Israel.
That's right.
We ain't no blacks. We ain't no Hispanics. We ain't no Mexicans. We ain't no African Americans. We ain't no Indians. We ain't none of that stuff, man. We the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And if you ain't rocking with the Most High God of Israel, then you ain't part of this nation.
That's right.
Give me Romans 9. I'm making me improvise right quick. Romans 9, because I'm sick of this stuff, man. To me, one of our biggest problems in this nation is coons, man. Coons. Give me 9 and 7. Give me 9 and 6. 9 and 6.
The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 6. Not as though the word of God had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel.
They are not all Israel, which are of Israel, man. Just because Charles Barkley is a so-called black man, that don't mean he of Israel, man.
That's right.
He sold out a long time ago. Just because Michael Jordan is a tribe come from the tribe of Judah, don't mean he Israel, man. How can you be Israel and you sitting married to a white woman?
That's right.
Ezra told them to put them strange women and them children away. We came out of captivity. You think them brothers will be able to do that? They won't be able to do that, man. They will not put their white woman away. Because if you would do it, you wouldn't have never done it. If you was a brother that would put a white woman away, you wouldn't never had no white woman. You would. So them dudes is not Israel, man. They ain't gonna keep none of God's laws. They gonna be like, we gotta love everybody. The Jew in that man is our brother, like Nick Cannon said. I'm sorry to our Jewish brothers and sisters. They ain't my damn brothers and sisters. Well, I almost went into a fit this morning, man. I've heard this stuff this dude said, and then you got Jewish people coming out talking about Nick Cannon words was disturbing to the Jewish community. Well, getting shot in the back is disturbing to our community. They swear that anything is said about them is worse than the atrocities that's being done to the black and the brown people.
In particular, what happened to George Floyd, the knee on the neck, the handcuff with your hands behind your back.
Yeah.
What's more disturbing than
It's
that?
a Hispanic sister was in the military who got disappeared and raped and killed from the Northern Kingdom. But none of that. But none of that. No. Words against telling the truth against them. But that show you who the damn devil is.
That's right.
That is telling the truth was hurtful for the devil. That showed you who the devil is. He did not get it, John 8:42. Because the devil don't push lies.
Yes, sir.
Nick Cannon told the truth, and you could have before he dropped the bomb on the Jewish community. He ain't touched nobody. But it's okay for us to get touched. It's okay for us to get killed. We've been in slavery and oppression. They ain't putting no Jim Crow laws down for no Jewish people. And just because they want to keep talking about Hitler, well, go ahead and admit that Hitler was one of yours. that was Jewish on Jewish crime. So all this, the whole world got to have sympathy for you. That's bull crap. We got to have sympathy for them. And I heard this fake Jew rapper don't say, Nick Cannon say he a Jew, but I never heard, no, he a Hebrew, but I never ever heard him speak Hebrew. But call Lahal Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shah.
Bring it out. Come.
Tyler, Hoy, Hoobie. Boy, we speak some Hebrew to you. You want some Hebrew if that's what you want. And we got brothers that speak way more fluent Hebrew than that. They speaking a bastard language anyway. They not speaking real Hebrew. They speaking Yiddish. So when you want to get into it, see, they just looking at the bad side of so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans. And they don't want to face the intellectual, spiritual side of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because we eat their ass up like bubble gum. That's why they won't even come near us. That's why they want to try to censor us. Because they know we really get into the stuff that, because that's how I think. How the white man gonna want to, when they go into a debate, they using all facts. All facts. So when we go to using facts, they don't want to play with us now. That's how they play. When you have a debate, you use facts. Not semantics, not emotions, not, oh no, we just ain't gonna do it. No, let's go to historical facts. And we're going to prove that y'all financed the slave trade, that y'all insured the slavers on the slave trade. And we're going to bring it right back to Britain. We're going to bring it right back to the Portuguese, back to the Spanish, back to the Italians. We're going to bring it right back to you, man. And it's undeniable. We didn't do nothing to nobody but our God. That's the thing that stand out. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as you see, we ain't did nothing to none of these people. So why they hate us so much? Because we disrespected our God, man.
That's right.
We don't got to do nothing to them. The Lord gonna send them at us for disrespecting him. And until you see it like that, they never gonna understand why these people hate us. Because we disrespecting Yahweh, man.
That's right.
So we stop disrespecting him. That's why he can protect us. Because he the one sending them at us. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 48. We got to understand the power of our God, what he can do. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. The Lord shall send against thee.
The Lord said we don't serve our enemies that he sent against us. That's the power of our God. That's what he's trying to get us to realize. It ain't them. It's him. We keep trying to look at them. We keep trying to worry about the white man and worry about the Chinese. No, it ain't them. The Most High is doing it. Finish it out.
In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Until he what?
Salakia. Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
He's going to make us have to serve this man for all that. Go to Psalm 17 and 13. Show you something real quick. This is how cold our God is. He's going to use these other nations that we focusing on more than we focusing on our God. I bet you we focus on the Most High more than these other nations. 17 and 13. They wouldn't even be nothing to us.
The book of Psalm, chapter 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked.
From the who?
From the wicked.
From the who?
From the wicked, which is thy sword.
What is the wicked?
Which is thy sword.
The wicked is the sword of the Most High to whoop our butts when we disrespected him because we made a covenant with him. And he told us in Deuteronomy 28 and 15 to 68 that he was going to do this, and we, our forefathers, us, agreed to that covenant. So we should not be shocked when George Floyd's is happening, when Sandra Bland's is happening, when Emmett Till's is happening, because we signed up for this. The same way we signed up to be above all nations on the face of the earth. But we don't understand it because we don't want to study our book like we're supposed to. But when we study our book like we're supposed to, we understand, we come to remembrance. That's what we do. We come into remembrance. Now, we can see all this all over again. We've been here before. This is how we know we've been here before. This ain't nothing new under the sun. We just repeating it. Now he's waking us up like he did out of all them other 7 major captivities and 7 minor captivities. We're going right back to the same thing. So we have to remember to fear our God and not fear the so-called white man. If we fear the Most High God, he got us. Because he's the one sending him at us. Right. That's how we know we can roll through here. We are under the grace of the Most High. We fear the Most High, and we doing his will. I'm not worried about no police, man. Give me Matthew 10 and 28. I'm not worried about no laws. They're not even a law. The Most High God, Christ is the law. How about that? That's the law I need to be worried about.
That's right.
I need to be worried about if that law going to come back and chop my head off. Or if he going to stand up in judgment and speak good words for me. That's the law we need to be worried about. Read that out.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body.
That put George Floyd put knees that.
And fear not them which kill the body.
That put chokeholds on brothers and sisters.
And fear not them which kill the body.
That shoot unarmed blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
And fear not them which kill the body.
The Lord said, don't fear them, man.
But are not able to kill the soul.
They can't touch your soul. That's the thing that we down here working on. That's why we worship him in spirit and in truth. Because we working on our soul. You got to start up here. Read.
But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
Man, in that lake of fire. That's why he told us in Exodus, don't fear any other gods. He keeps saying it over and over and over. Don't fear the white man. Don't fear white Jesus. Don't fear Buddha. Don't fear Allah. Don't fear none of that. Fear the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because he is the one that can bring them at you or can turn them away from you, man. He is the one that make your enemies be at peace with you. He is the only one that can do that. And all of us got stories of this. We know we got personal stories of this. But we knew it could easily go one way or the other. And in times past, when we was in wickedness, it went the wrong way. But we on the side of the Most High. You sitting over here thinking it could go that way, and he switch that thing, and it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Those are miracles. When you know good and darn well, now I know. When I was in the world, and this guy pulled me over, I'm going to jail. Now I know when I ain't have no, when my sticker and my tag in the back was out, and I turned down the wrong corner. Woo! Then I'm in this truth. Same paper tag out. 2 months. Police right behind you. You sitting at a light at a turning lane. You not even worried. And then when the light turned green, you turn and the cop just go around.
Remember I told you that? I was headed to work that morning. Yeah. I'm headed to work one morning. I'm driving to the train station. I'm a park and ride. I'm going by 80 because I'm trying to catch the train and I'm late. I go past this law. He's sitting at the stop sign coming off the street. I go by 80. So now I get off the gas and I'm looking through the rearview mirror and I know he gonna come get me. I'm going and going. Again, he turned, he went the other way. As though I went by him and he didn't even see me. That's what it was like.
And so many more stories. You just talk to brothers and sisters, they gonna tell you. They gonna straight tell you. Those are miracles, man.
Yeah.
Because especially in the climate that we living in, you can easily get one of those cops that don't care and they go the other way. But in this truth, you like, you go to court, you ain't worried about nothing because that stress is off your mind because you laid it all on the Most High. Like he said to do in the first place. He told us to do that. Then when you trust in that and you do that, man, I ain't worried about this job, man. I'm going to that new moon. I don't know what I'm going to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Now, I ain't working on Saturday. You sit there and watch somebody tripping out. You told me I got to work on Saturday. You like, really? Oh, what? I know, you understand where they coming from. You know, you got to feed your family. But this is the thing. And when you're in this truth, you stop understanding. You understand, but then you stop because you've seen so much stuff happen. And then you remember. How many of us in the world? We done went out Friday night, got to go to work Saturday. And then Saturday come, you be like, man, forget that job, man. I ain't, man, I'm too tired to go to work. Oh, you'll do it then. But let somebody tell you need to take off for the Sabbath, and the folks tell you can't. You know, the folks say I'm gonna lose my job. Man, they made laws about this stuff. That's what you don't know. They got laws in every state about your religion. That if this part of your religion. Well, brother, if you was actually practicing being an Israelite, you would be able to uphold that thing. But since you gave in so many times to these folks, they don't even believe that you're a real Jew. So of course it ain't gonna work for you, brother. Because you ain't been practicing what you preach. But when we do this thing and we stand firm on it, they say Israel should not be ashamed of the violence, world without end, and you sit up here like pardon the pun, a Mexican standoff, and you looking at them and they looking at you, and I'm not budging. And then Friday get here and you don't come to work, and you go in Monday and what? Them mugs is like that. You're gonna leave him alone. Because you're gonna let the Lord deal with it. So you like, they let me go, they let me go. He'll give me another. I'd have had 50, 100 jobs. And it was 50, 100. And most of them I quit just because I ain't feel like going no more. So when it comes to this truth, now I got standards about a job. These people don't care about us no way. Let's get Romans 1:25. That's just how I look at it, man. The Lord done showed me enough. He don't show me nothing else. They say a Jew requires a sign. When he showed me all the signs and wonders that I needed to really understand that this is the truth. And he just keeps showing more and more because our eyes is open up. Read that out.
The book of Romans, chapter 1 and verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
What did the Bible say?
Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Who? Read on now.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
That's what our people love doing. They're rather, because it's easier to serve the creature. Because the creature ain't got no standards on you. The creature didn't tell you, this is what God requires of you, Israel. Well, I don't recall Buddha ever saying nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? White Jesus sure ain't told you there's some requirements of you. But the Most High God of Israel told us it's requirements of us and listed those things. So the question is, who changed the truth of God into a lie? Let's get a little understanding on that. I'm going to swoop through this. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 8. And I'm just going to jump through this a little bit because really that whole chapter can be a class in itself. Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Well, most recently, the Roman Catholic Church. Most recently, during the Renaissance era, you had Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo. Leonardo da Vinci painted The Last Supper. He painted Sergio Borgia as Christ. You had Michelangelo do the Sistine Chapel, painting God as white and the angels as white. Then just show you how perverted these people are. All these naked babies and naked grown men and everything is naked. Naked. But you know what they was doing? Somebody They showing their nakedness. They showing they sin. They painting abominations. They making graven images. That's why all they graven image statues is naked. Showing their nakedness, man, they sin. The Lord clearly said don't do this. We just read it. Clearly said don't make any graven images. What they do? They did it. And then not only that, if you really get to really just look at some of the stuff that's going on in the Catholic Church, it's so pedophile it ain't even funny. A bunch of pedophilia, man.
What about the statue they got with I guess it's a Pope standing, holding his robe up
with a little boy up under there.
Right in front of him.
Hell, if you see some of the money, I wish I would have thought about it. That's real stuff. They got, it's a book called 100 Objects of the World that I seen in the library. Took pictures of it. And on a cup, it has pedophilia on it. This is one of the objects that they put out of 100 in this book. It's a Roman cup with pedophilia on it. These is some perverted people, man. But yet they got the whole world thinking that they dealing with the Most High. That is of the damn devil, man.
That's right.
Read that out. Start at verse 7. Wisdom of Solomon 14:7.
Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 7. For blessed is the wood whereby righteousness cometh.
That wood, if you read a little bit before that, is talking about the ark. I should have started at 8, but that's what that's going into. Blessed is the wood, and righteousness coming because of the ark. Noah and his sons brought forth righteousness. Well, Shem brought forth righteousness on this earth after the flood. Read on now.
But that which is made with hands is cursed.
It's what?
It's cursed.
Read on.
As well it as he that made it.
So these graven images that people is using and wearing, the Lord said those things are cursed, and the hands that made it is cursed. Read on.
Because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God.
It was called what?
It was called God.
Read on.
For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God.
These people don't even understand how much the Most High hates them for the stuff that they're doing and saying that they're doing in the name of God, that they're doing it in the name of Christ. They sit up here with some rosary beads, like it's confessing their sins to a pedophile. Man, this stuff's so out of order, it don't make no sense. But that's them. That ain't how we rock. That ain't what we supposed to do anyway. So when we doing what the Most High God told us to do, we sitting back looking at the Catholic Church and how it works. You like these people are out of their damn mind. And our people out their mind for even following anything that have to do with these people. Read on.
For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it.
Come on, man. Read on.
Therefore, even unto the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination.
What are they become?
They have become an abomination.
Read on.
And a stumbling block to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise.
Let's prove that point. The cross with the white Jesus on it. All people walking around with the cross on thinking that it's going to do something for them. Brother, why you wearing that cross? Oh, you know, then they lie. I just got it on my chain. No, brother, you think it's going to do something for you. That's why you got it. It's a stumbling block for our people. That's how we know. I like to tell brothers, brother, they know you don't know who you are when you got the cross around your neck. It's like a mark. It's like the mark of the beast. Oh, they got a cross. They don't know. They don't, you, bro, I'm not even going to argue with you. You do not know who you are, bro. If you at least had any inkling of who you were, you'll be at least talking about you Kemet, and you move away from the cross. And then they bounce to the conch, and then we have to bust them down with that. Brother, you still don't know who you are, but you moved a little closer, brother. You was in slavery in Egypt. Keep trying. But we know you don't know who you are with the cross around you. You at least questioning it. if you got the hump around your neck. You at least question it, because you know Christianity ain't correct. That's why you have, because no matter what we say, unless you grew up in a household of atheists, your ass was a Christian in some form or fashion, no matter what somebody. Now, I would never know who yes you was. If you was in a black or Hispanic household, you was a Christian. So we, brother, you got the crowd. I know you don't know. Read on now.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
What was it out?
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
See, y'all people don't even understand it. And this is a big thing. They not understanding that they're spiritually fornicating against the Most High every time they go into that Christian church. And they really, just the fact that you feel like, well, I done spent 3 hours at church. That should fill my church bank up. I went 3 weeks in a row. I used to think like that. But Lord, I went to church 3 weeks out of month. That should be on my report card. Man, what? It ain't about none of that, man. It's about being obedient. So, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. What we do when we came out of Egypt? See,
worship idols.
what we worship?
Golden calf.
Golden calf. As soon as we came out of Egypt, we over here worshiping the golden calf. Boy, that is our people, boy. If the Lord told anybody else on this planet, and I really truly believe this in my heart, except for probably a couple of other nations, I believe the majority of the nations, they gonna do it, and they gonna ride to the death with it. Just look at the Asians, right? How big they are up on honor. Whether they keep it or not, they still talk about honor. You don't hear black people talking about honor. Mexican people talking about honor. These people hold on to honor like it was the last thing they had on the planet. Even if they lied about it, they still say it. So if God told them, y'all my people, they kill everybody on this planet to do what God told them to do. That's why, matter of fact, let's do that. Go to Ezekiel chapter 3. But us, he tell us to do it. We want to go against the grain. And hope y'all got in the wisdom of Solomon. Ezekiel 3 and 1, starting 1.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover,
Matter of fact, drop to verse 4.
the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go and get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel.
So he's saying, I ain't sending you to a people of a strange speech or a hard language. I'm sending you to the house of Israel. Read on.
Not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand.
Read.
Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto me.
They would have did what?
They would have hearkened unto thee.
The Lord said, if I would have sent you to any other nation, they would have hearkened unto me. Man, that's saying a lot, boy. So that's how we know we the people of the book. As soon as we come out of Egypt, we got to be hard-headed. Anybody else, the Lord would have showed them the signs and miracles he showed us, you wouldn't be able to tell them nothing, man. Then he ain't even show it to the fake Jew, but he did show us that he was going to put a bastard in Ashdod and that these Gentiles are going to take our place until the fulfilling of the time of the Gentiles be up. And they doing it. And ain't they ruling with an iron fist? And that's on the wicked side. The Lord made them the wicked to be the sword. And they upholding that thing, man. But he told us we the best thing on the planet, and we want to fight against, kick against the prince. That's crazy, man. We'd rather do what white Jesus say than do what the Messiah told us to do. The true Messiah. That's why all these other nations got to confess and testify that Christ ain't no white man. Because the Lord poured out his spirit on all flesh. That's why you seeing Filipinos talk about Yahweh Shai. White men talk about, yeah, you blacks are real Jews. If you hear up some of these people from another nation, you can get them to tell them that they know that you're the real Jew, man. I done done it too many times. You might have to pin them in the corner and really charge them to the game. Because they ain't going to want to tell you. But you really let them know that you're dead serious. They will say it. Because they know that those people are not the real Jew. So us, who he's talking to, matter of fact, keep reading now.
But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted.
What did he call us?
Impudent and hard-hearted.
So that's why he got to whoop our butt, man. And we wondering why we going through what we going through. He telling us straight up. And we know, see, we're the conduit here right now. We're really understanding what God is going through with us because we're reading it and we're doing what he told us to do. So then when we try to go to our brothers and sisters and try to relay what God is telling us, we're the conduit. This is what the Bible says. We're relaying it in layman's terms to our people, and then they resisting the Holy Ghost. So we're clearly seeing what the Bible is talking about now. Because our people is impudent and hard-hearted when it comes to the Most High. So we understand what the Most High going through just a little bit. That's why it's up on us to really stay diligent in his truth. To let the Most High know, yeah, I'm in your corner. Let them know we really riding for you. Because we see everybody else who gaze. That's what we call it. He said, we dealing with people who worship moons, suns, and stars. This who we up under? People who worship wood and stone? Come on, man. We up under people who worship wood and stone, and we got the one true creator. When you really understand that, there is foolishness. And you try to tell your people this, and no, Jesus love everybody. What? What white man have you ever known to love everybody? And the biggest question, what white man have you ever known to sacrifice himself for everybody? They don't sacrifice themselves. The only time a white man kill themselves is when they in financial ruins. When they about to lose everything, then they want to kill everybody in the house. Because they ain't on top no more. That's the pride on them. I'm killing everybody in the house. And the dog. And the fish. So them sacrifice themselves for us, they ain't happening, man. Where we at? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 15 and 15. When y'all get a chance at home, I'll probably do a class on chapter 14, starting at 14. Read that at home. That's a good read because that's going into how we got the Central Border picture. I would read it, but I want to read the whole chapter and it take too long. 15 and 15. Oh, the one you should read? Yeah. 14, read the whole chapter 14. Chapter 14. And when you're reading it, the context is telling you about Pope Alexander VI, his son Cedric Borgia, who died early, and he had the artist make the painting of Cedric Borgia, and they took it around. It's telling you about the Spanish Inquisition, pretty much. Because when I do the class on 1492, you're going to see that Christopher Columbus, the Pope, the Queen and King of Spain, the Spanish Inquisition, the Catholic Inquisition, all this stuff, this is how you know it's the Most High, because when you see how it come together, you know it's the Most High. And you're going to see in the scriptures where he said that the northern kingdom was going to be over here till the other people came. And you're going to see in 1492, all this stuff came together, man, and then they came over here. It's going to line up. I tripped out when I was seeing it. You know about all these different Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand and Christopher Columbus and Pope Alexander VI, and then you're going to see how Cedric Borgia picture, Leonardo da Vinci, The Last Supper, you're going to see why these people are famous. And then you will understand all these people is famous, from Christopher Columbus, from George Washington, from Stonewall Jackson, Andrew Jackson, anybody that these people is praising up and worshiping, the reason why they're famous is because they did something to the Israelites. Period. These people would not be famous if the people that they weren't coming after wasn't Israelites. And you'll see how they do their history. They do their history by the domination of the Israelites, man. Alexander the Greek, he wasn't famous till he did what? He had to dominate us. It wasn't about them dominating each other. They had dominated each other and still work together. Look at World War II. Germany attacked all of them. They attacked Germany back. They turned around, gave them back all the stuff they lost, built the country back up, and now they riding together right now. Show you how the white man work. Yeah, Russia and America hate each other, but they still work together on the space station. Come on, man. They was in a Cold War with each other, but nobody dropped the nuclear bomb. But Japan fought with Germany. Germany was the head instigator, but they bombed Japan 2 times because they're going to do everything in their power to try to avoid World War III. They do destruction together as well as apart. They just want to be the one who's running the show. That's what their whole thing is about. Which Edomite country don't run the show? And that's all it's been tossed around. At one point it was Britain. No, at first it was Greece. Then it was Rome. Then when they turned into Europe, then it was Britain. Then at one time France was running it. Then Italy, then now it's America. And it's still Edomites. But when it comes to us, that's what's gonna make them famous. And George Washington wasn't famous just because of revolution. Then he had teeth from a slave. You know what I'm saying? He was a slave owner too, Thomas Jefferson. He more famous for the slaves he owned than any invention that he stole. These dudes wasn't inventing everything, man. They was stealing the inventions. Where am I? Oh, go to Wisdom of Solomon 15:15.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15 and verse 15. For they counted all the idols of the heathen to be gods, which neither have the use of eyes to see, nor noses to draw breath, nor ears to hear, nor fingers of hands to handle. And as for their feet, they are slow to go.
Because they're idle. It's like we put up both definitions of idle. They both of them. They idle, they can't move, they can't go nowhere. They're idols. People is just praising these things for nothing. They bang. Read on.
For man made them.
What they do?
For man made them.
I'm gonna let you keep reading.
And he that borrowed his own spirit fashioned them. But no man can make a God like unto himself.
Mm-hmm.
For being mortal, he worketh a dead thing with wicked hands.
Read on.
For he himself is better than the things which that he worshipeth.
What did the Bible say?
For he himself is better than the things which he worshipeth.
Man, how is you worshiping something that you better than? That's the foolishness that's going on around here. You're better than the idols that the people is worshiping. The Lord said we was gods. So how is a God worshiping a stone? That don't make no sense. Read on now.
Whereas he lived once, but they never. Select.
You worshiping a stone that's been crafted that never lived. Just because somebody say, "Oh, this build a dragon. Let me bow down. Let me bring sacrifices to it." A man told you that. That's why you go to Baal and the dragon, and then you make them look like some fools. Because you listen to this trickery of man. Worshiping an idol is trickery of man. I'm gonna tell you one of the most foolish things I've heard. Those Indian people, our sisters buy their hair. They buying the hair. They selling the hair because they paying off a wedding debt from a goddess from hundreds of years ago. This is how they get the people to get them their hair for free. They say people dragging their children, their daughters, to the place, to the spiritual person. They shaving themselves off, right? Yang, 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 yang. Telling you you helping pay off a debt of a goddess wedding from hundreds of years ago. Then they take that hair, and this Italian dude buy the hair and send it to China so they can make it into weed, and they sell it over here. And this is what they do. They manipulate their own people. Just wicked, man. Just wicked. Read on now.
Yeah, they worship those beasts also that are most hateful. For being compared together, some are worse than others. Neither are they beautiful, so much as to be desired in respect of beasts. But they went without the praise of God and his blessing.
And you know, we got these people in this world worshiping wolves, cows. Where they worshiping cows at? In India. They worship the monkeys, the rats. They let rats run around and they let monkeys run around. They bring cows in their house, let them poop in their house, take baths with their boo-boo soap and all types of stuff, man. This is what they doing. You go to India and touch one of them monkeys if you want to. And the crazy part about it, the monkeys don't. You better not touch them. Come stand in there and sit over here, wish you would touch me. Take your stuff. Then they got the animals stuffed up over there because the animals eating up.
You know, also in Israel, they worship a Capt too, but they trying to worship the perfect red heifer that's supposed to come, and then that lets them know the time that Christ is supposed to come back.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Galatians chapter 5 and verse 19. Galatians 5 and 19.
The book of Galatians, chapter 5, and verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these:
What are they?
adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, immolations, wrath, strife, seditions, and heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, rebellings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have told you in the past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
See, and what we're going to focus on today is spiritual fornication, spiritual adultery, idolatry, witchcraft. Because if you're doing these things, you will not inherit the kingdom of God. That's how we know our people in the Sunday church is not going to inherit the kingdom of God. Because no matter what they say, God know my heart. God knows you don't want to break that pride off you, to humble yourself, to come and do what he told you to do. That's what God knows. They love saying God know my heart. Yeah, he do. You got pride on you. And that's why you continue to do idolatry and witchcraft. Because you don't want to break that pride and humble yourself and be obedient to the word of the Most High. That's the biggest problem our people got. You try to point them in the right direction, but I'm just going to believe what I believe. Then you going to burn with it again because you saying that you believe in the Bible and you believe in God, but you don't believe that God going to throw you in the lake of fire for not wanting to put on the dress. I don't believe God will kill him for that. Well, God said himself said that's an abomination to him. He didn't say I just dislike it. He said another thing that's abomination is homosexuality. He put you cross-dressing in the same category with homosexuality. And you gonna say, I don't think God gonna kill me for that.
A filthy, nasty, detestable act. That's what an abomination is.
And you don't think God gonna kill you for that. Well, he sure ain't gonna give you no hugs and kisses for it, he sure ain't gonna do that. But that's pride. And what do homosexuals got on them? What do they say? Pride week, pride month. They doing that on purpose. You got pride on you. Give me Malachi 4:1. Because let's see what he's gonna do with the pride. And these people know what they're doing when they took the rainbow. They know what they're doing when they talking about Pride Month and flash the rainbow. They know that that's a covenant between the Most High God and us. Once again, what's that? An attack on the Israelites, right? Don't they want to? I'm telling you, these people know exactly what they're doing. I seen a commercial where they put the Black Lives Matter and they put the rainbow flag of the homosexuals up here together like we're fighting together. They know exactly what they're doing. Read that out.
The book of Malachi.
I know what he's doing too. Read that for me.
The book of Malachi, chapter 4, and verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud,
all the what?
All the proud,
all these homosexuals,
yeah, and all that do wickedly,
all these Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that want to go against the Most High God,
shall be stubble.
They shall be what?
Shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts. Said the Lord of hosts. That it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
So they can keep playing with the Most High God if they want to. They thinking they being funny by using the rainbow flag and putting it with Black Lives Matter. We see right through that bull crap that they doing, man. They think they slick, man. You putting the civil rights movement with the gay movement. What? And then they say they got pride. They do got pride because they think they being funny. They think they slick. Let's go to Colossians chapter 3 and verse 5. That's enough to make you angry right there. I see why the Most High don't burn them up. Y'all trying to be funny. Yes, sir.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 5. Mortify, therefore, your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetous, which is idolatry, for which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience.
You don't have to read what it is. Yeah.
Mortify, therefore, your members which are upon the earth, fornication.
You got to mortify members, our bodies on the earth, from fornication,
uncleanness,
any uncleanliness, any sexual uncleanliness, spiritual uncleanliness,
inordinate affection.
Inordinate affection. How can a man be in love with another man? That's an inordinate affection. How can a woman be in love with another woman? That's an inordinate affection. Read on.
Evil concupiscence. Concupiscence.
That is a strong sexual desire or lust. Read on.
And covetousness.
And covetousness, which is idolatry. The Most High God compared those things with idolatry. Because what they go into, they start loving the creature more than the creator. They say that they're in love with the same sex. And they trump that over loving the Father. Is that not loving the creature more than the creator? That's why he said that is idolatry. Because they begin to worship this thing. Well, I was born this way. This is how I am. You wasn't born this way. This is up here in the spiritual thing. Remember? It's all up here. They made themselves think that. They made themselves think that they're in love with the same sex. The Most High doesn't make you like that. Their spirit is upon you. But the Most High said that that is idolatry when you're doing those things. That's why that's all wrapped up in. That's why it's gay pride, because that's all they care about. They put their little stickers on, have their parades, all this different stuff, then try to act like, oh, they the victim. Y'all running the world. So I don't know how they the victim. We can't even say, they can say that they're gay. But we can't say we're heterosexual and we don't want to deal with this stuff. Or we the bad guy. You're homophobic. Why? Because I don't want to deal with no homosexuals. You're homophobic. You're a homophobe. Well, I guess I am then. I ain't got to deal with no homo. We got to accept them. But they ain't got to accept us as black men. That is crazy. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 14. You almost there. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 14.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry.
What did the Bible say?
Flee from idolatry.
The Lord said, flee from idolatry.
Idolatry.
Flee from these things of this wicked world, man. Flee from idolatry. If anybody's in idolatry, it's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Most High God said to flee from that thing. Give me 1 Corinthians 5 and 11.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5 and verse 11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, a covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, which such and one know not to eat.
So the Lord is telling us not to even keep company with these type of people. Let's just think about it. When we was in the world, it wasn't nothing but some trouble gonna come. It wasn't nothing but some trouble. If you hanging out with fornicators, coveters, idolaters, railers, people who love to fight, drunkards, people extortioners, people that are always trying to get over on somebody, grimy niggas. Ain't nothing good finna come from that, man. So he put idolaters right there with him. People who worshiping other gods and worshiping different objects. He put them right there with him. He told us not to have no company with these people, not to sit down and eat with these people, because he don't want this spirit to jump on you. And then next thing you know, brothers, be talking about Christ ain't do no miracles and Christ ain't the king and all this other stuff that they saying, man. Then you be having Northern Kingdoms talking about Judah Ham and all this different stuff, because they keeping company with the wrong people. They looking at the wrong videos and talking to the wrong people, man. Because it's going to be something in your heart that's keeping you from accepting this truth as it is. It's going to be one of them fruits of the flesh that's going to keep you from accepting the truth as it is. That hatred in your heart, that covetousness in your heart, the idolatry in your heart. That's why a lot of people don't want to accept Christ as being black, because they want to hold on to that white image of idolatry. Because you don't have to do anything for that. They know this. Ain't no standards for you to do for that God. Oh, I love everybody. Can't nobody love everybody, man. God don't even love everybody. So how you love everybody? Everybody don't even love God. Everybody don't even love Christ. One lesson I learned from my father, everybody not gonna love you. And it's okay. That's okay. You don't have to love everybody, and everybody not gonna love you, and it's okay. Because the Lord divided the sons of Adam. He divided us like that. That's the thing that really, when you in the spirit, that's the thing that keep you from sinning against your God. Because you're not gonna deal with them other nations like that. I'm not taking on none of their ways. I don't even like them like that. It's when you start liking something over there. Oh, yeah, you know, little Becky over there looking good, you know what I'm saying? Then you gonna want to go try it out. I'm looking Kim Jong-un over there, she looking kind of good. Now you and your eye get swayed that way. But when you stick to yours, what's yours? Like, I don't get mad at them people when their parents like, you can't get a black man. I'll be like, that's right. Because that's what God said. These people so tender-hearted and so messed up, they feel some type of way. Oh, you're just living in the old ways. That's old. That's the past. No, that's right now, man.
Right.
That stands right now. We won't have the 18 nations that the Most High God created if we did start dealing with the other nations like that, and they start dealing with us. Don't get it twisted. We all know them people is racist in the mud. Our people is like to the core of us, the real ones, is racist. They racist. The Chinese is racist. The Russians is racist. Hell, the Europeans don't like Americans. Because they say they too up. They think they know it all. Ain't got no work ethic. And you know what? They right. Americans suck. There ain't nothing but a bunch of spoiled, no good, think somebody entitled, you entitled to some people. But we the Israelites, man. And I'm gonna be racist. Don't get mad at me for loving my own people and loving my God. I don't care. I ain't mad at Donald Trump for being a racist. Oh, that's how he should be. And the people that's following him too. Because pretty soon they ain't gonna have nothing to hold on to. That's right. But to kiss the boots of the Israelites when your house come back. So have your fun right now.
I think he's 100% right too. I think that everybody, to a certain extent, is racist. But living in this world, we've had to train ourselves to say the things that are politically correct, and nobody does that more freely than our people. Right? Start paying attention. You hear more people. You hear our people more than anybody saying, "Oh man, I love everybody. I love everybody." How can you love everybody when they're showing you hate? So what's happening is this is just something that you train to come out your mouth. You're not even thinking about what you're saying. Because if you think about what you're saying, you would know that you can't love everybody. I ain't loving nobody that's showing me hate.
That's right. That's foolish.
That ain't gonna never happen.
That's the foolishness of our people. That's that really Lynch on our people, man. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous because the jihadists or them Americans be like, you do something to them, we gonna cut your head off. I ain't mad at you. You do something to us though. We, Lord, please, Lord, I forgive them, Lord. I don't know why they did it to my son, Lord, but I know the good Lord told me to forgive them. And next thing you know, you got people hugging the damn murderer in the courtroom, and the judge overlooking and telling the guy, said he don't forgive you. Making a mockery. A mockery.
Combing their hair.
Combing their hair, bailiffs combing their hair, brothers hugging them, judges talking, and all these is black folks telling them, God don't forgive you.
Just give them personal Bible too.
Come on, man. That's foolishness, man. Give me a book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 3. That's foolishness, man. 5 and verse 3.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 3. But fornication and all uncleanness and covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becoming saints.
So we the saints. Give me the saints, huh? The saints right quick. Because as the saints, he said, I should have probably started at verse 1. But fornication and all uncleanness and covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becoming saints. These are the things we should not be doing. So people be looking at all, they're like, bro, I see you over here coveting, brother. I see you over here looking at another man white, but you're an Israelite, right? Yeah, they're going to put your light out. They're going to put you on blast because we held to a higher standard than everybody else. Read, show them who the saints are.
The book of Psalms, chapter 148 and verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even unto the children of Israel.
So as the children of Israel, let's go back to where we were at. As the children of Israel, we should not be displaying any manner of fornication, uncleanness, covetousness, idolatries, or anything that goes against the spirit of fruits, the fruits of the spirit. Because when you're doing those things, you're exhibiting the fruits of the flesh. And that's giving a bad message to the people that's watching us. Because you know they watch us. Our wives is watching us. Our husbands is watching us. Our children are watching us. Our friends are watching us. Our parents are watching us to see if we gonna slip. Because if we slip, see, I told you we can't keep the law. You think they ain't waiting to say that? I knew it. By God, I think I got it. We can't keep the law. Paul told us we couldn't keep the law. Let's see. Read on now. Matter of fact, hold what you got. Go to Galatians 5 and 3. Galatians 5 and 3.
The book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 3. For I testify again to every man that is circumcised, that is he a debtor to do the whole law.
And what?
A debtor to do the whole law.
Because we're circumcised in our hearts and our minds, and we know we have to do the law. The whole law. Not make excuses on why we can't do it. We're not uncircumcised anymore. So ain't no, oh, we can't keep the law, we can't keep the law. First of all, know what the law is when you say you can't do something. The Lord said it ain't grievous. Read on now. Oh, that's all I want. Go back. Let's finish that 5 and 5 and 4. Ephesians. Ephesians 5 and 4.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 4. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking.
Nor what?
Nor foolish talking.
As Israelites, as saints, we shouldn't let filthiness or foolish talking come from us. Read on.
Nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an covetous man, who is an idolater, had an inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God.
So he's telling you again that if you do any of these things, that's idolatry to the Most High God. That you don't have any place, any inheritance in the kingdom of the Most High God. So we have to stay on the straight and narrow path. God gave us straight commandments that we can avoid punishment. He told us exactly what to do. It ain't not hard. All we gotta do is stick to the blueprint. The blueprint. You know, we lawgivers, so we like to give out laws. You know what I'm saying? Keep our people afoot on how we should be living on this earth while we still here. Give me the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Because the things that we've been taught in this country and this world have been taught to us by our enemies, man. Like the Most High told us, he was going to send our enemies against us. And in that sending them against us, he was going to try to make sure he stayed in control and have power over us. So he wasn't going to teach us no truth. He only going to teach us lies. So the Most High gave us warnings about that. Whenever we wake up out of the slumber that we was in, things that we should do. And this is one of them. Read that out.
The book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
No, sometimes trust.
Never trust thine enemy.
No, all white people ain't bad.
Never trust thine enemy.
Man, I got an Asian girlfriend.
Never trust thine enemy.
Man, I got a baby with a white girl.
Never trust thine enemy.
The Lord said, never trust thine enemies. Never. And once you identify who the enemy is according to the scriptures, the Lord said to never trust thine enemies. Read on.
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Iron is gonna rust, man. You sit it out there, and that brain, that thing is gonna rust. Right? And he said the same way that iron gonna rust, so is his wickedness, man. So we got to cut out this old Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, God love everybody type of thought process, because that's not gonna get us anywhere with our God. That's right. Like we brought out before, we should fear the Most High God, man. If we take all that time that our people focusing on the white man and put it on the Most High God, we'll fare better. And we can get out the situation that we in. That's all we got for you today. Hope everybody have a good first day of the week. And with that, we say shalom. Shalom. Thanks for reaching out, giving donations to help the movement. Like, share, spread these videos around, man. And we appreciate all the help that we get from our people that support us. We got Sabbath class, 11 o'clock. First day of the week class at 5 o'clock, Monday class at 7:30, Wednesday class at 7 o'clock. And we're getting ready to celebrate the new moon right now. All praises to the Most High God, man.
Praise.
Shalom.
Oh.